Hey guys, Corell Cooper with OnTheBlack.com. Just wanted to talk to you guys about the loss last night for the Mets. Very disheartening loss, and in my opinion, a game that pretty much sums up why I feel that the Mets are a borderline wild card slash playoff team at this point. You know, the Mets have all the talent in the world, and if you line up their roster on paper with any other team in baseball, they can stack up pretty well. But as you know, and as I know, games are not won on paper. The Mets have to go out there and play good. And so far this season, quite frankly, they haven't done it. They've made too many mental errors, and they have been too inconsistent. And to me, last night, pretty much sums all that up. I mean, let's take a look at some of the issues and the bad plays from last night. First, early in the game when the Mets got off to a good start, there was a play where Murphy was rounding third, and third base coach Razor Shines decides to send Murphy home when he should have held him up at third base. And Murphy, one of the two times at the plate last night where the runners don't slide, he doesn't slide. He was out by a mile anyway, but he didn't slide. That's first mistake number one. Number two is, a sign of a good team is when your team goes out there early and puts points up on the board for you. As a starting pitcher, you need to shut the other team down and hold the lead. Oliver Perez could not do that last night. The Mets offense came out aggressive last night, and they gave Perez a 4-run lead, and he couldn't even get through 5 innings. And he gave up that lead right back. Once Perez gave that lead back, the Mets offense, which came out hot last night, decided that it was time for them to go to bed early. So, they didn't hit the ball at all, past the 6th inning of the game. I don't think that they had any hits after the 6th inning in that game. So the Mets offense couldn't come back for their pitcher, couldn't put any more runs on the board. They got off to a fast start and then just went to sleep. Next is Carlos Beltran. Not sure what he was thinking about at that play at home plate last night. I thought it was a very good and very aggressive play for him to try to run home on that play. He would have been safe if he would have slid, but for some reason he decided not to slide. I have no idea why, and he was out. And then that leads to the next play, which was probably the most critical play in the game, which is Daniel Murphy out in left field again. Ball hit right at him. He looked like he misjudged it, and he slipped on the grass, and the ball went over his head. This just kind of highlights Murphy's deficiencies out there in left field. I don't know if the Mets have any other answers for left field right now, and it's something we may have to live with. But this is definitely the second game in this young season. Only 13 games where Murphy has made a very poor play at a critical time in the game, which has cost the Mets a game. So that's another play. I'm not even going to talk about puts in the 8th inning. Yes, he was hit very hard, but you know what? The bullpen has been the only consistent and strong part of this team so far this year. So I'm not going to get on the bullpen for last night's loss at all. Because if there's any strength in this team that you can look at so far this season that's been consistently good, it's been that bullpen. But, those are just some of the issues and mental mistakes and inconsistencies that the Mets made in one game last night, which cost them that game, which they've been making, all season long, which is, the end result of that is a 6-7 record right now, and playing, around the 500 mark baseball. So if the Mets don't turn this around, start playing more consistent, and get their head in the game and play smart, consistent baseball, this is the type of team that they're going to be all season long. And at the beginning of the year, I picked the Mets to win the wild card. By the way, got a lot of flack from some of you out there because I didn't pick the Mets to win the division. which is fine. That's okay. I love the debate and I welcome the debate as well. But this is the reason why. You know, like I said, the Mets are a very strong team on paper, but you have to execute. And the Mets haven't executed the last 2 seasons, and so far this year they haven't executed either. So, I'm very concerned about this team. I'm hoping that they will start playing smart baseball and consistent baseball. But right now they're just not doing that. And if this continues, this is going to be a very long season for the Mets and for us Mets fans. Would love to hear some comments, some reaction to this video post. Talk to you guys soon.